Hello friend, this is Amit. The first video I already explained about that first basic example, and I explained about the life cycle of REST services, how the REST will find out and how that front controller as a servlet container is working. Now here in the second example I am going to explain about some more thing. I am going to explain about few annotations, as well as I am going to explain about that how we can upload different kind of the media like a PDF image, and how we could download the different type of the media formatted. So by that it will be clear means how we can utilize a web services or JAX RS API in the different way. So before of that I just want to explain about few annotations. I will write down here and I will explain about that. Like the main first thing is that path. So we already seen this first video that what we using a path. So path and regular expression mapping. So here path is not directly we are putting as a path as a string something, and we can utilize this thing. But inside that path we are also put the regular expression also. That is a little bit advanced thing, but we could utilize this thing also. So the path annotation is not limited to simple path expression. You also have ability to insert regular expression into the path value for it, like that. Now what we are using that path, and after that we are writing some public class and anything, some class name we are writing my class, and after that we have some get port and all thing is there. So when we are writing here, like we have @get, and after that again like here we have to provide some path kind of thing, like previous video we utilize as a hello, and here you would like to provide some variable kind of thing or regular expression kind of thing, then we could utilize like a path, and we can put here like some variable if we want, and then we can utilize in between that where something, and after what stuff you are going to utilize. So we can specify this kind of the regular expression also. So when we can send some thing like that here, like resource, and after that stuff or anything here variable like off on kind of thing, then we can get this regular expression. We can I will not go in the deeply here, but we could do this thing also here. Other than that we can directly specify anything in between of this double bracket, and we could utilize this into the dynamically changing the variable when we'll send that get a different kind of the request with this particular value, and according of that it will be a which method will be treat, and that particular method will be come on the picture. So next important annotation is there @path param. So here path param is a parameter annotation which allow you to map a variable URI path and into that particular method. So path param we are sending some request like that @path, and we have to specify the something there. So what we are doing here, like that we have some class like public string get name. This class we are going to do, and here something will coming, then @path param, and after that path param, here only we have to specify what the param path param is coming there. Okay, it's wrong, just 1 minute. Yeah, so at the rate path param, after that we have to specify in the path param what the value we are coming. So we just think example, I am sending id as a path param, so we have to write a id here, and we have to declare here a string and any name, like a name we are going to use here. So we have to specify like a name kind of thing. So here so we could directly utilize this name here, and we can do that application. Sorry, we can directly use name here. The next actually path param here that is allow you to do embedded variable identification, like within the URI and your resource here, like here I put id. So id URI pattern is used to pass information about that what we would want to access. The parameter type you inject into can be any parameter type, like a string or any Java object that has construct that takes a string parameter or a static value of the method that taken a string as a parameter. For example, let's we wanted to like here id to be a reader object, so here we can do anything. The next important thing is there path param regular expression we can also use, like that how the path we use here also path param we can utilize. The other annotation is there query param. So I just list down there, and I will explain sometime also. I will show you that how we can using this. In our application, I will try to utilize maximum annotation, but before going to explain this thing, we must have the basic knowledge about where we are going to utilize this one. So query param annotation allow you to map a URI query a string parameter or URL from encoded parameter to your method. Like that, sometime we are sending some id question mark number equal to 5, here some URL localhost something like localhost 8080, and after that we are sending some like something like hello and that question mark, and after that we have to send id equal to 5. So here this id we can get what the id value is coming through query param. So this is also very important annotation that we are always using. Other annotation is there header. So header as a name is same header param. Header param, so it will be it could handle the header related information. The header param annotation allow you to map a request HTTP header to your method. So if we have something in header, we can directly use. So it's the same thing here. If this method, if we could want to utilize a header param, so we have to write like that. Here string instead of query param we can put header param, and here we have to specify like that it will be coming a form or something, what the header name is there we have to here form or something we have to specify, like that we can utilize. one more important annotation that I not explained before of that is a matrix param, and this is also used widely. So matrix param is there, matrix param. So the matrix means this parameters is that they are arbitrary set of non-value pair embedded in a URI path segment. So again it will be a use a path segment, a matrix parameter. Example like we are sending a get HTTP some a local host, and the same thing here 8080. After that hello, and after that we would like to send like that, not this way. I would like to send with this way. So here ID equal to 5 and name equal to Amit and something. So this way we would like to get all the information, then we could utilize @matrix param, and after that here same thing instead of path param we can utilize @matrix param, and here instead of ID we will utilize, if you won't like this ID then we will add ID, if you want name then we will add name. So matrix param. So this format if we want to send and we can we want to could get it, then we can use a matrix param. So this is also very good for means want to send a multiple record in the URL itself. We don't want to add the information in the body or header part, so we can utilize this one. The next is important annotation is cookies param. Cookie param. Oh sorry, it will become there. So cookie param, as the name is there, the cookie param annotation allow you to inject the value of the cookie or in the object that represent of HTTP request cookie into your method invocation. So we can directly use it as a cookies param if we want to send some information related to cookies, or we want utilize this information as a cookies, then we have to use @cookies instant here in this place @cookies, and we have to put the cookies name like a J session ID or session ID kind of thing. Session ID we have to put here, and same cookies param we have to use here. Like that. So we can utilize a cookies param. So cookies param, it will be one request will become as a cookies. So or we want to send the request under the cookies, so we can utilize a cookies param. The next important annotation is that form param. That naming convention is very good here in the Jaxarish, so you can we easily understand about that what exactly that annotation going to utilize. That is a main thing is there. So again when your input request body is of the type application or XML from something like that HTML form, you can inject individual from parameter, form parameter, and from the request body method parameter value. So when we are rewriting some action equal to something put post, and we declare as the type equal to form, and we are submitting the form. So every form each line like input type text name equal to something ID password something. So directly we can inject through form param. So in the form param we just write here form param, and the form if like input type equal to text. When we are sending request like input type, so here something text and name equal to something, and value we are putting here, when we are submitting this form, then it will be hit this request. We can utilize this form from here. Instead of session ID, we can utilize this input type, name equal to this session ID, we can put here. So we can directly get this form from. Other important is the @form. @form is there. Like form is there, we have to handle one by one request. What exactly form is doing? So it could be a use in REST EG specification annotation that allow you to reuse of the @param annotation, and with the inject classes, REST EG will be initiate the classes and inject value into any annotation. Param or context property, this is useful if you have a lot of parameter on your method and you want to utilize them into the single value that I explain about this thing. So we can utilize that form here. Other is a default value. So default value, default value is a parameter annotation that can be combined with any of the order like the @param annotation to define default value when the HTTP request item does not exist. So default value also is important. The other is also cache is there. Like this thing will not widely used, but we have to know about this thing. Cache is there. The same thing @no cache is there. No cache is there, and cache control is there. So it could be a use for cache related information where we would like to store our data near to our application. We just want to reduce the round trip between our application to database, then we can use this related thing. And encoded also is there. So encoded also we can utilize many time. Basically we are not going to utilize all things, but we have to know about this annotation. Once we know the annotation, it will be very easy to understand about JAX-RS. So JAX-RS allow you to get encoded or decoded @param and specify path definition and parameter names using an encoded or decoded setting. So JAX-RS encoded annotation can be used on a class, method or param. By default, inject @path and @query param are decoded by additional, like adding an encoded annotation that value those parameter will be provided in encoded format. Or other is there context. Actually this we are not using widely, but we have to just understand about this thing. So context means it is a HTTP context annotation allow you to inject instance of Java XWS RS core HTTP header or core or RS core request or HTTP servlet request. This thing it will be injected. So this mini annotation is there that will be consume, produce, I already explained about that previous video, and mostly that path, get, produce, consume, that we are going to utilize it. So that when we work on soap marshalling, unmarshalling thing, that we will use the provider and all. I will explain about that thing there. And Jaxb provider, we have to understand about how the Jaxb is working. So I will explain about the Jaxb also. Now this is up to that it will be clear, and this is a means up to that it will be a, we can write some upload and download kind of thing here. So I will just quickly start with one program and we will check that how that program is working. So first we will start download thing. So why I choose upload download thing? Because uploading file to the web app is the common task nowadays. A lot of service support uploading the picture or document on their sites. With the Java Web Services, there is a easy accomplished what we need aside from the Java Web Container. Web Container means provided by your application server like a Tomcat, Glassfish, JBoss, anything. So it's the Jersey framework to make it run first, and I will show you how to implement a web service, and then I will give you two example of that. One file download upload, and one file download and one file upload. So whenever we want to understand about any web applications, for any web application entry point is the web.xml, which describe how the incoming HTTP requests are served, processed. Further, describe about that global context or local context parameter like a context param, init param, all the thing. So for loading the file particular to the project required to contain respective listener kind of thing all. So whenever you would like to understand about that any application, first we have to go about the web.xml. So inside that web.xml, each and everything is configured, and we can easily understand about the functionality of what we are going to utilize. So I'm confident that you already aware about this web.xml, because I already explained the previous video, and we are not going to utilize any new thing here. So as it is means what the previous web.xml we utilized, we can going to utilize the same thing here. So it's not a new kind of thing. So we just have servlet and their mapping, and after that we will see that the file is post our HTTP post and encoded type the multi-part form data like that. Means what the kind of the data we are going to upload or download. So we'll see that, and from that client to our web services. This way you can add multiple parameter to the post request to addition to the file. Let's say start means you will need to web application server like a Tomcat, Glassfish or JBoss to deploy the services. In addition, we will use a Jersey framework to build our application endpoint, and we can utilize this functionality. So here I just want to explain one more time here. So thing is that we just using this servlet. So when you register this servlet, you have to do two things. You have to write this servlet tag, and after that servlet mapping. So first servlet tag have a servlet name. So servlet name is anything here that will be a string, unique string will be, and it will be a map with servlet mapping this servlet name. So here this servlet mapping map with this servlet with that name only. So whenever that particular request, this request will become, it will be found out where the exactly servlet name, servlet thing is there. It will found here it is a servlet. So after that servlet class is there, So here we have to register servlet container. So that is the main thing. It is a front controller. So all the requests first hit here this servlet container, and servlet container can take that request, and according of that it will be find out where exactly controller is working and which controller have to respond about this request. So that request will be forwarded by that servlet container to the particular controller classes. So after that we have to put init param, and here this is a local init param. So init param have a param name and param value. So param name must be the Jersey config server provider package. Here no need to change. So provider package, what the package we are going to write our main client code, that package we have to put. So our package is com.visualpath.rest. So this package be added here. And init param, after that I already explained about that load and startup we have to add. So load and startup we are adding here because of we would like to aggressively load our classes, and when this will be deployed, that time that servlet container is ready to handle the request. If we not add this load and startup, then our servlet container classes will be means load on the memory and ready to run when the first request will be hit. But in this case, when the application will deploy, that time only it will be ready to handle the request. So after that we have this servlet mapping, and this servlet mapping here we wrote after that applications, its a REST is there, and after star anything will star means any, after that any request will become, then it will be responsible to particular servlet name. So this servlet name is mapped with this servlet name, and after that servlet class is there, that is a servlet container org.glassfishjersey.servlet container. So this is a act as a front controller. All the requests will be hit, and it know because this all the client is registered here. So when this class is load, it will be load all the classes under com.visualpath.rest. So in here in this package we have all the classes available that have the controller. So according of that particular path related thing, it will be a store and map into that, and after that REST anything will become through that, it will be forwarded to particular controller class by the servlet container. So we have this thing here only, and the next we have to write this client under this package. So here we are not doing a much more thing, we know about that. We have to start with file path @path before of that class. So after that path we have the file. So of means here what exactly this thing. So after that when the REST and after file we will hit, means it will be a go directly here. So here we have the one, I have my file.txt under the E. So we'll download this file there. So we have a get @get, means this request will become as a get, and after that again path is there. So after file we have to go txt, then only we can hit here. So producer type, produce and consume we already explained. So in produce type we have to specify what type we are going to produce. So because my file.txt is a text file, so we just added text as a plain here. So after that public this response file get file method we will write here. So file equal to new file, the path what we will write here, response builder response dot ok, and we have the object here and file. Response builder dot ok is containing only object type. So if we directly put this file, then maybe it will create a problem. So we just have to typecast this as an object, and we have to put here. So response header we can specify that content, description, attachment and file, and after that response dot build we have to return this thing. So we don't need to do anything here. Index.html is there. So here we have to specify rest file txt. So when we click download txt file, it will be directly go rest file txt, and rest file txt means here, and we already have mapping content here, this rest So it will look like rest, and after we have the application name, that file download. Okay, so after that rest and before that application name, IP address like localhost 8080, application name rest file txt. When we will hit, it will be download here. We will run this one and we can try to understand the functionality. Once it will be work fine, I will explain one more time. So running, we are just going to run in the Tomcat server. So I already downloaded the Tomcat server. Recommended to download any Tomcat server less more than 7 version. So I have a Tomcat 7 point something. So I just downloaded and I run utilizing this Tomcat itself. So run on server. So we have some changes. We just save it. This Tomcat server 7.0. So it's a 2 file going to remove. I just want to run only single. You see that what happening. So I already added my file.txt under that E folder. So here we have a E and E have this my txt. So I will modify this one. Hello visual. And save it. So under the E, my file.txt already there. So when we will click here, it will be a download this file. So we'll use some browser for better understanding. Here also if we click, it will be download, and we can use open, and we see that hello visual path is downloaded. Straight Chrome is opening, we'll see that same thing in browser also. So it will be a same way to download, or that we are downloading some file. So we can download this way also. Hello visual path. So this is a very simple example here to how we could download the files and all. And like that, we would like to download some other file also. So we have to write multiple method here, like get file. That's file 1, file 2. So for the same example we are going to utilize, but here we have like we have 2 files. First method is responsible to write this, and here we have 2. So my file 2 we have to put under the E also. So we already have a my file, so we can put my file 2 here. My files, my file 2. So my file 2 have just change the content, hello visual path by file 2. So the second is content is change, name is my file 2 txt. So here we'll use file 2. But here path also will change. We'll change it to file 2 text 2. Okay, so it's done. Deployment is also done, but I'm not thinking I have to redeploy it. So when we are clicking here, it will download the file. So this thing also we have to modify. So like that, ehref is there. We have to put one more href. So we have to put br, break the line, and download txt file to, and here we wrote txt2. It's like that. So we'll see that. Once we'll save it, it's automatically deploy. I have to change something. You will see that. So now hello visual path file 2 is downloaded here, and here visual path file 1 is downloaded. So whenever you use any latest version of Tomcat, we no need to change each and every time, like rerun the server. Whenever we change that code, it's automatically deployed. Sometime if not deployed, then you have to just change few things here in web.xml and just save it. Even one space, create one space and delete the space also and save it. It will be auto deploy. So we'll go through that one more time. That's easy to understand. So here web.xml, we have to specify this thing. Whenever we writing any web application, that is web.xml the first point of contact where you can understand the functionality, how it is working. So here inside that web.xml, you have to register that servlet container, and servlet container work as a front controller here. So here servlet container, after that init param you have to register. So init param you have to register as a like that where your controller classes is available. So here jersey config server provided package is there, and after that param value is there. So com visual path set rest is using a default path, and here load and startup we are using as a aggressive starting. So we have to put any positive value, so through that it will be automatically a start whenever this application is deployed. And here we have to specify URL pattern. So URL pattern will be add with this name, and through that name it will be hit here, and all the requests that will become that particular HTTP localhost 8080 and this applications, and after that anything like that restful file download, and after that anything it will be hit to this servlet container, and servlet container will find that request, and according of that it could be a find where that request will be forwarded. So the request will be forwarded on file download service, and here we have this thing. So here we have to write any class. In that class, before of that we have to mark as @path file, and inside that we have to add get. We are going to use a get, and after that we have to add path, and after that produce, we are going to produce text plain. So if we use a image PDF, so you have to specify here itself. So now we are going to produce this file itself. So now this is a very simple example of the file. So response builder response.ok this file, and after that response dot handler. So you can also utilize that single line code, like we can utilize like that directly. Response builder dot header directly and after that this thing response.build on .build, and you can directly return. So no need to do this thing. The both way is fine, what the way you would like. Either you can do the single line coding like that, either you can do this thing. This is just a Java, so it's not need to worry about this thing. Second method I wrote this thing same, so and after that you just have to create one index.xml. Here you have to register ehref, or you have to just send this request even in the browser itself. So this is a get request. So whenever, so I stop the server, I just restart the server, then I will show you that. So starting the server, again you have to do Java applications. Not happening. Okay, something is wrong. We'll see it. Run with server, I think run with Java application. It could finding a main class. Yeah, so here what I am saying that we can directly pass this request with like that. If we want this one, so we have to pass this one. So it will be downloaded. So txt2 also we can download it. Txt two ts small. So here it's also downloaded. So get request we can directly send. After that I will next program I will show you that how we can utilize some REST client kind of thing. So through that we can send the request. That is also one important thing that you have to aware about this when you are using a REST API. So here through that we can send the request, and request this controller can handle the request. First servlet container is taking that request because this is a front controller. Now after that it forward into the controller classes. So file download service is a controller classes here. So we have to specify that when we hit it will, this particular method will work and it will be produce as our requirement. So this is a very easiest example where we see that how we could download the file. The same thing we are going to explain about how we could upload the file. So both thing I'm just closing all, and here I have an example of that how we could upload the file. So the same thing is here, it's nothing much more changes. So we have a web.xml file is here. So in this web.xml file we have a servlet name, that is the same name. We can change anything like a visual path we can also use. So we can use here itself also. So this servlet name will be mapped with servlet mapping here, and we have a URL pattern like a REST. Now we can just use visual path. We just changing that URL pattern, or just leave about that. We are using a REST, then we can use a REST itself. So REST, anything, any name. I just want to explain about that. Any name we can utilize here. So we just use a REST, and after a star means anything can acceptable. So here that before of that application name, that is a RESTful jersey file upload, and after that rest. Before of that IP address and port number it will become, and here rest this thing will come. So here it will be registered with servlet container, that is org.glasspace-jersey.servlet container, and here we have a init param, that init param name config servlet parameter provider package, and package means com.visualpath rest, and here this as a init parameter we will register that multiple thing also. So here also we just use select file, and we just added rest file upload, and here post and multiple format data, and here file upload we just using the same thing. It's not much more changes is here. So we are using we are going to use as a path, and path path is a type of javax ws rs path. This path we are going to utilize, and here we are putting as a string slash file, that I already explained here. We can utilize this path and all query when we there, and here we are going to utilize a post, and that's the reason here input is a different type, form, action, and method equal to post. So it could be a handle a post request. So post is there, path, and after that again path upload, and here before that we see that you have be using a produce, but right now we are going to use a consume because we are uploading the file. So we can accept the file consume here. So media type that multiple form here and this data. So response upload file, and here I explained about that before also. So form data param we can utilize file input stream, again form data param file. So form data contain this thing. So two type of input stream and form data content disposition we are going to utilize. So here we have a e visual path file detail dot get file name, and we are just reading a file output stream. This is just a Java code int equal to 0. We just try to read this file and catch the exception is something is happened then, and we just return response dot status 200 and entity output dot build file, and nothing changes here. We just run this application, we'll see that how it is working. Run on server, remove all. We just want to run only one functionality. So we'll browse, select the file, we have to browse, and after that we have to upload. So now we have a browse, so we'll just have to browse. So now we are using a download in the E, what the file we are using, we're just going to utilize that same file for uploading. So we have a computer E. So now you have my file and my file too. So my file we are going to upload. So when we do that, we'll see that file successfully uploaded, E visual path my file txt. So we'll see that E rather visual path, my file txt already here. So that file upload example is done. We can upload the file, we can download the file. So just quickly go through that one more time, and through that it will be very clear. So whenever any web services is there or web application is there, the first point is that web.xml. So web.xml will be clarify each and everything, and through that we can understand the functionality of our applications. Servlet, we use a visual path here, and after that URL pattern what we will write. So that URL pattern will be hit to find out this visual path, and this visual path what the servlet name is registered, that will be a point of the contact of that request. So we have a servlet container to add with this visual path, so all the requests will be handled as a servlet container. So servlet container is used as a front controller here, so all the requests will be go. So after that init param is registered here. So init param, it will be all the controller classes that will be available in param value, but for this we have to register under the param name jersey config server provider package. Here we have to register that. So this thing, and index.html we are going to do as a we have to send method as a post because we are using a post. So we have to write a form action, after that rest file upload, and method is equal to post, and here encrypt type equal to multi-format form data. So we are going to select the form and submit the form. So select the file, input file this thing, and input submit this, upload the file. So now after that we have this method, this class. So this class is the main thing. So here we are using a path. Under the path we are putting a string. Path is the type of Java XWS RS path type. After that we will use a post because we are going to utilize a post here. Again we have a path to upload. This is a not mandatory. If we just have to, means we have a multiple method, more than one method is there, then how we could specify this method. So we can write this thing also here. If we not write this file also, it will work. So in this case we have to just delete this upload part, so we just have a rest file, so directly hit this file. But we have one more path, so we have to add this thing also there in when we are sending this. So consume, here we have to when we upload the file, we know that what type of media type we are going to consume. So we are going to consume as a multi-part form data. So after that form data param and form data param as a form data content dispositions and input stream. We are using a two-way to upload this a form. So here this is just a Java code to read the file and upload the file, and after that entry.response status 200 entry, and we have to build and return it. So this will be a work functionality. You just go through that and just try to understand this file upload system and file download. So once it will be complete, I will show you that how we can write some functionality utilizing a create, update or delete the functionality, or modify the functionality in the single applications, and how we can play with the JSON, or how we can play with the different media type like XML kind of thing. So that one thing is once explained, that means RS related thing, JAX RS is done. So after that I will explain the SOAP concept and web services concept, how it will be work, and after that I will explain about that one project. And once that will be completed, you have much more knowledge about web services. So till now, thanks for watching this video. Next video I will come with all the 4 functionality: how to create, how to update, how to delete, and how to modify the functionality. So thanks for watching the video.